Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone classes. I am your facilitator, your science faculty, your teacher, Amit Ajmani. And this particular session, time for some brainstorming. In the previous session, we completed up the chapter Work, Energy and Power. And I have asked you people to learn each and everything related to this particular chapter, right? So now is the time to just use your brain to apply your concepts, to see, to check what you all know and how far your preparation goes, and to increase your confidence. So guys, let us start up with the show. The very first question that comes for you is a body moves a distance of 6 meter in the following different ways. There are different ways given to us ABCD, in which case is the maximum work done. So let us first of all see the options. Number one option is when the body is pushed over an inclined plane, or it is when lifted vertically upward, or when it is pushed over smooth rollers, or when the body is pushed on a plain horizontal surface. So what exactly is the correct answer? Obviously, yes, when it is lifted upward, because in this case, the work done against gravity is the maximum. Correct? Let us come to the second question. Now in second question, the examiner asks that Ashok lifts a doll, the name of a person. He lifts a doll from the floor and places it on a table. Now, if the weight of the doll is known, what else need not be known in order to calculate the work done? Ashok has done on the doll this particular work done, and if we want to calculate the work done, what exactly out of these should not be known in order to calculate the work done? Let us go through the options. The one is the time taken, B option is the height of the table, C option is mass of the ball, and D option is cost of the doll or the table. Now we know that the work done is equal to F into S, and if we are talking about work done is equal to F into S, we know that F is M into G. What else do we require? That is the height of the table. So B is the correct option among these. Let us see the third question. Now this is a good question. Please try to relate. In which of the following cases will the work done be maximum? The body is moved through a distance S on the ground. Now we know once again that if we are talking about work done obliquely, in that case the formula for work done is F into S into cos theta. So the theta, the different angles are given to us: 30 degree, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and this is 0 degree. So the value of cos theta when it is 45 degrees will be maximum, and therefore B is our correct answer. Next question. Now in this question we are being asked that two springs A and B are identical, but A is harder than B. Now on which spring more work will be done if they are stretched by the same force? Now, if they are stretched by the same force, in that case, will the work done be more in spring A or in spring B or in spring A as well as in spring B, or work done is zero for both the springs? Now, the very first thing that comes in the mind is A is harder than B. Now, this particular sentence clicks in our mind. And because A is harder, we try to relate ourselves that we have to do more work in stretching this hard spring. But we need to relate the language of the question. It is not being told to us that they are stretched in the same way. It is not being said that they are stretched by the same distance. No. If they have been stretched at the same distance, obviously more work, more force would have been required for stretching the harder string for the same distance. But in the question, we are being said that we are stretching them both with the same force. So if we are applying the same force, in that case, the work done will be equal in both the cases. So the correct answer will be C, that is in spring A as well as in spring B. Clear? Let us come to the fifth question. A 6 kilogram weight is attached to a spring. Now it is pulled down and then released. It will oscillate up and down. So its kinetic energy will it be maximum in the middle of the movement, or maximum at the bottom, or maximum just before it is released, or it will remain constant? So the correct answer is C. It will be maximum just before it is released. Right? That will be the maximum kinetic energy in the spring. Next question is quite simple. A photocell converts light energy into, whether it is chemical or heat or electrical or mechanical. So we know a photocell converts the light energy into electrical energy. This is a solar cell, photocell that we are talking about. Okay. Next question. A body is dropped from a certain height from the ground. Fine. So this be the ground level. Let this be a body and this is being dropped down from a certain height. When it is halfway down, so let this be the halfway. Let us give it a point O. So if the body is halfway down, it possesses which type of energy? Kinetic, both kinetic and potential, only potential, or zero energy. Now what is kinetic energy? It is the energy due to the motion. So the body is in motion because it is still falling. So kinetic energy is correct option. Does it have potential energy? Yes. Why? Because it is halfway down. That means it still has got some height. So it also has potential energy. So our correct answer is both kinetic and potential. B will be the correct answer, that this falling body which is dropped from a certain height from the ground halfway down, it possesses both kinetic as well as potential energy. Kinetic because of its motion and potential because of its height. Correct? If rather than this option we had been given mechanical energy, then in that case the mechanical energy would have been correct answer, because mechanical energy is nothing but sum total of kinetic energy and potential energy. Clear? Let's come to the next question. A wound watch spring has the energy of which type? Is it mechanical or kinetic or potential or kinetic and potential both? Now kinetic and potential both or mechanical, that is one or the same thing. So if it would have been the answer, obviously there would have been only one option given, not two. That means that this is not our correct answer. Now we are left with kinetic and potential. We already know what is kinetic due to the motion. What is potential? Because of the height or change in shape and size. I hope now you got your right answer. that it is potential, because by winding the watch spring we are changing its shape and size, because of which it will have potential energy. Clear to all? Let's come to the next question. In question number 9, what is said is, a car is moving along a straight level road having constant speed. Now the speed is constant. Then the work done on the car is infinite. The work done on the car is zero. The work done on the car is a measure of the gravitational potential energy, or the work done on the car cannot be found. The answer is the work done on the car is zero. Why? Two reasons. It is going on a straight level road and it is moving with a constant speed. So because the speed is constant, no work is done on the car at the moment. So the correct option is B, that is the work done on the car is zero. Let us see the next question. Which of the following does not possess the ability to do work not because of motion? A sparrow is flying in the sky. There is motion. A sparrow moving along on the ground slowly. There is motion. A sparrow in the nest on a tree. The sparrow is in the nest. No motion is there. A squirrel going up a tree. Motion is there. So it is the C option that we have to mark, that the sparrow in the nest on a tree does not possess the ability to do work because of its motion, because the sparrow is in the nest. It's not in motion. Let us see the next question. A stone is thrown upward as shown in the diagram. From this particular point, let it be A, the stone. This is the stone. This is thrown upwards. When it reaches the point P, this is the point P that is being labeled in the figure. Which of the following has the greatest value for the stone? Is it its acceleration, or its kinetic energy, or its potential energy, or its weight? So what exactly will be maximum at this point? The maximum value will be of acceleration, because it has reached the maximum height. So the maximum value will be of acceleration. Next question. A 12 horsepower motor. Now this is a numerical in which power is given to us to be 12 horsepower. Now if we remember, we know that in 1 horsepower there are 746 watts. So converting it into the SI unit, we will multiply it with 746 and now the value will be in watts. So the power given to us in the question is 12 into 746 watts. Now it is operated 8 hours per day. It is operated 8 hours per day. How much will it cost at the rate of 50 paisa per kilowatt hour in 10 days? So for that we need to calculate. Let us calculate. So what is given in the question? We are given power. Power is 12 into 746 watts. We have converted into watts. Now if we want to calculate the unit consumed by this particular appliance, then in that case it will be how many watts are being consumed in how many hours of how many days, right? And since we need to calculate it in kilowatt hour in units, we'll convert this watt into kilowatt by dividing it by 1000. So how many watts are there? 12 into 746 watts. We have converted it into kilowatts by dividing it with 1000, multiply by 10 days is the time period and 8 hours per day. Right, this is 8 hours per day that it is being used. So when we calculate it, the value comes out to be 716.16 kilowatt hour, that is the units. And if we calculate the cost as per 50 paisa per unit or per kilowatt hour, then it comes out to be approximately 358 rupees 8 paisa. We'll round it off to 358. And now let us see what exactly are the options given to us in the question. 350, 375, 358 and 397. So our correct option is 358 rupees will be the cost of using this particular motor for 8 hours per day. Clear to all? You need to calculate in order to find the correct answer. Let us see another numerical which requires calculation. Question number 13. How much work should be done on a bicycle of mass 20 kilogram to increase its speed from 2 meter per second to 5 meter per second? Now, in this question, we have been given 2 meter per second. Let it be the initial velocity u, which is given to be 2 meter per second. Final velocity is reached by this bicycle, and let it be the final velocity represented by v, and it is given to be 5 meter per second. The mass is also given to us to be 20 kilogram. We know that for calculating work done, we require F into S, and for F we require M into A into S. So we are given the mass, but we are not given any other value. So what we will do is we will calculate the value of A and S both. And how we are going to do it? We are going to do it by using third equation of motion, which says that v square is u square plus 2as. Now v is given to us in the question, that comes out to be 5 square, putting the values. U is given to us in the question, that is 2 square, putting its value, plus 2 into a into s. Now 5 square becomes 25 is equal to 4 plus 2as. So taking 24 on the other side, 25 minus 4 is equal to 2as. So the value of as becomes 21 by 2. That comes out to be 10.5. This is the value of as. Now we will put the value of as in this particular formula of work done, m into a into s. Mass is given to us in the question to be 20, and the value of as comes out to be 21 by 2. Cancelling it out with 10, our answer is 210 joule, which is our A option, 210 joules. So this is also a numerical. We need to solve this in order to get our answer. Clear to all? At times the students are confused and they get panicky. Sir, how we are going to calculate the S? We don't know even A. So which equation of motion we should apply? So you need to use your presence of mind, and instead of calculating S, we will calculate AS as a whole. This is the crux in this particular question. I hope you have understood it. Okay. Let us see another numerical. Now in this numerical, what he's saying is a bullet of mass 0.1 kilogram is fired with a speed of 100 meter per second. The mass of the gun is 50 kilogram. We have to find the recoil velocity of the gun. Here we will be using the law of conservation of linear momentum, which states that m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. Let m1 be the mass of the bullet and v1 is the velocity of bullet, m2 is the mass of the gun, and v2 will be the recoil velocity of the gun. Simply putting the values, what exactly we'll get? We'll get 0.1 multiply by, this is the mass of the bullet, multiply by the velocity of bullet is 100 meter per second, mass of the gun is 50, multiply by velocity of the gun, we need to calculate. Simply putting V2 here only, taking 50 on the other side, we get 0.1 multiplied by 100 divided by 50. Removing the decimal, we'll get 10 in the denominator. Now simply cancelling it out. So it will come out to be 1 by 5. And 1 by 5 means in decimals it will be 0.2 meter per second. Just search out where exactly in the options is given 0.2. The very first option A is 0.2 meter per second. This is our correct answer. Okay, so here we applied law of conservation of momentum. Next, a bird flying in the sky. Whatever is moving in the sky, it has mechanical energy. It has kinetic. Why? Because it is flying, it is moving, and because of motion, it is kinetic energy a body has. It has got potential because it is in the sky, it is at a height. So, kinetic energy, but not kinetic energy only. Potential energy, but not potential energy only, because both of them are there. So our correct answer is D. It will be mechanical energy or both kinetic energy and potential energy. If instead of saying a bird, we have been given a helicopter or an aeroplane, the answer would have been the same. Any flying object in the air possesses both kinetic as well as potential energy. So should we move to the next question? Let's come. Question number 16. The kinetic energy possessed by a body of mass m moving with a velocity v is equal to half mv square provided. So the kinetic energy, the formula is half mv square. And when does it hold good? It holds good. Conditions are the body moves with velocities comparable to that of light, or the body moves with velocities compared to the speed of light. The body moves with velocities greater than that of light, or none of the above. The correct answer is, you checked it out right, the body moves with the velocities compared to the speed of light, right? So this is our correct answer. Then the kinetic energy will be half mv square. Next question. You lift a heavy book from the floor of the room. I don't know which book you are studying that is so heavy, but you are lifting a heavy book, right? And keep it in the bookshelf having a height of 2 meters. In this process, you take 5 seconds. Okay. Now, the work done by you will depend upon what factor the work done will depend. We know that the work which is done by you is against gravity, and if it is against gravity, the formula for calculating is mgh. So the first option, mass of the book, it is there in the formula. So on mass it will depend, but time taken, no. Work done does not depend on time taken because there is no t in the formula. So first option will mark incorrect. Next, in the C option, again time taken is given, so I won't take it. Again in the third option, time taken is given, I won't take it. It depends on the weight of the book, which is m into g, and height of the bookshelf, which is h. So this is our correct answer. Okay. What is the difference between option number B and D? It is the time taken. Here also it was the mass of the book, height of the book. I would have corrected both, but this time taken, no. Clear? Next question. A lorry and a car moving with same kinetic energy. Now the kinetic energy in both is same. They are brought to rest by applying the same retarding force. The retarding force which is acting on both of them is same. Then options are lorry will come to rest in shorter distance, car will come to rest in shorter distance, both come to rest in the same distance, none of the above. So as per going according to the child psychology, a student's mind tries to relate practically that I am in a car or in a lorry, and if the brakes are applied, which is going to stop first? So we will compare both as related to their masses. Which one is heavier? It will take more time to stop. But in physics, we apply the conceptual knowledge, and the conceptual knowledge says that if the same retarding force is applied on both of them will come to rest after traveling a same distance. So C is our correct option. Both come to rest in a same distance because the retarding force acting on them is same. Okay. Next question. A man starts walking from a point on the surface of earth. Assumably it is a smooth surface and reaches diagonally opposite point. What is the work done by him? So if this be the earth and if he is starting from a particular point and he has reached the opposite point, what is the work done by him? It will be of course 0, because we know that if the force is applied perpendicularly, no work is done. So in this case, no work will be done even though he has been walking for such a long time. Still, let us see the next question. A total of 490 joule energy was used in lifting a 5 kilogram mass. The total amount of energy is given to us, the mass is given to us, the mass was raised to what height? Meters. It is all in meters. That means we are being asked the height. We need to calculate the height. Now we know that potential energy or work done against gravity is given by the formula mgh. We are given the value of potential energy, which is 490 joule, is equal to the mass is 5 kilogram multiplied by the gravity, acceleration due to gravity. We already know the value of acceleration due to gravity, right? Let it be the value 9.8 multiplied by h. So keeping h here, taking both the values there, we'll get 490 divided by 5 into 9.8. Correct? So on calculating, what exactly will be our answer? Our answer will be removing the decimal, taking a 0. Then in that case, we'll get the value over here to be what? It is, if we are taking 9.8, we could have taken 10 also. Okay. So if we are taking 9.8, in that case, the value will be 100 divided to 10. So value comes out to be 10. If we are taking the value to be 9.8, so it will be 10 meters. If we take the acceleration of gravity to be 10, in that case our answer would have been 9.8, but we'll assume to take the acceleration due to gravity to be 9.8 only, because unless until it is specified in the question, We do not take it to be rounded off value. Okay, so the correct answer is 10 meters in of this question. Now let us see the next question. Now this is a very typical different type of question. You have to just focus a bit. Let us see what the question says. When the momentum of a body decreased by 10%, its kinetic energy decreases by how much? Is it 20%? Is it 40%? Is it 36%? Or is it none of these? We need to calculate. How we are going to calculate? Please try to relate the calculations. Now, what we know is, we know that the kinetic energy is basically how it is related to momentum. It is equal to, the formula is P square by 2m. This we have already studied. Correct? Now, the normal momentum that was given to us in the question, it is being said that the normal momentum is decreased by 10%. Then in that case, if we try to relate the new momentum, because it is decreased by 10%, so with respect to the old momentum, we will get the old momentum minus the decrease in the value, that is P into 20 by 100. Now if we calculate, in that case we will get the new momentum, let it be P dash, that will be equal to 9 by 10 P, because the value has been decreased 10%. So the new momentum is 9 by 10 or 90% of the old momentum. Okay, now putting this value in this particular formula, what we will get? We will get the kinetic energy K will be equal to, putting the value of P, the value of P comes out to be 9P by 2m whole square divided by 2m. Opening up the brackets, we will get 81 P square divided by 100 upon 2m, which comes out to be 200m. So this is our kinetic energy. Right? Now, if we try to relate in terms of percentage, then the decrease, what will be the decrease? The decrease in kinetic energy will be this 81 P square by 100 by 2m divided by the actual value of kinetic energy, that is P square by 2m into 100. A bit of calculation is required here. And when you will calculate this whole, P square will be cancelled out with P, 100 and 100 will be cancelled, 2m and 2m will be cancelled. So we are left with the value 81 and we are calculating the percentage. So the momentum, if decreased by 10%, in that case the kinetic energy, how much it is decreased? It is decreased by 81%, and 81% is not given in any of the options. So therefore our correct option is none of these. Correct? The way of the formula that is being applied here, that we need to relate, and that formula is that kinetic energy is equal to P square by 2m. Initially, this is the kinetic energy. When momentum is decreased by 10%, we will calculate new momentum. That will be 10% less. So it will be 9 by 10 of the original momentum. Now we'll put the values and we will calculate the decrease in the kinetic energy. So a good question, a bit calculation required question. Please try to do it properly and thoroughly. Let us see the Next question. A force 20 Newton displaces an object 10 centimeter and does work of 1 joule in the process. We have to find the angle between the force and the displacement. Now we know that when we are talking about angle, we have done one simple formula of work done, that is F into S into cos theta. So we have to first of all try to relate the value of cos theta, and then we know the values of various angles of cos theta. We'll try to find. So putting the values, the work done is 1 joule given in the question. Force is 20 Newton given in the question, and the distance is 10 centimeter given in the question. We will simply find the value of cos theta, but there is a catch. Where exactly we need to observe? The unit. The distance moved is given to us in centimeters, and this is the most important thing we need to relate. We need to convert it into meters. How? Simply dividing it by 100, cancelling zeros. So now what the above equation becomes is 1 is equal to 2 into cos theta, right? Taking 2 to the other side, now we get cos theta is equal to 1 by 2. And for which value, which angle is cos theta 1 by 2? It is 60 degree, because cos 60 degree is 1 by 2. So therefore the angle will be 60 degrees. Let us see where exactly is the option given. 30, 120, 60 and none of the above. The correct option is 60 degrees. Fine. So, did you understand how exactly we came to the answer of the angle? By just calculating and just finding the value of cos theta. Next question. This is a graph based question. We have been given 4 graphs. Let us see what exactly is being asked from us. Question says, which of the following graphs shows the graphical relationship between momentum P and kinetic energy K for a body in motion? So whenever we are talking about momentum and kinetic energy, it will be a parabola in the upward direction. So D is our correct option. Okay. They are not directly proportional to each other. It can't be a straight line. Fine. So it will be a parabola upwards, not downwards. Okay. Next question. A body of mass 3 kg is acted on by a force which varies as shown in the graph below. So in this graph, we have force on the y-axis, time on the x-axis. Taking O to be the origin, we are being said that force of 10 Newton. This is a point, let us say A, which corresponds to 10 Newton and to 2 seconds time. Another point, let us take it B, which corresponds again to 10 Newton, but the time is 6 seconds. Now what exactly is being asked by us is the momentum acquired is given by. Now if we talk about the momentum will be the area of this FT graph, right? So the momentum, how we are going to calculate the area under this whole line, we can relate it to be the area of this triangle plus the area of this rectangle. Area of triangle, we know it is half into base into height. So we'll just simply apply it, half into what is base? 0 to 2, that means 2, and what is the height? This is 0 to 10, comes out to be 10. So this will be the area of rectangle, half into base into height. And this is a rectangle, and area of rectangle is length into breadth. So what is the length part? This is 10 and the breadth part is 2 to 6. That means 4. So on calculating, we get 2 and 2 cancelled out, comes out to be 10 plus 4 into 10 is 40. So the answer is 50. And since we are calculating momentum, the SI unit is Newton second. So first option is 0, second is 5 Newton second, third is 30 and fourth, here is our correct answer, 50 Newton second. You need to relate and remember on a FT graph, force time graph, the momentum is calculated by calculating the area of this particular graph. Okay, coming to the next question. Now here, once again it's a graph question, question number 25th. The diagram shows the velocity. It shows the velocity versus time for a particle. The work done by the force on the particle is positive from. Now this is a VT graph, velocity time graph. Okay. Now from the graph, it is quite obvious that the force is acting on the particle in the region A to B. Why? Because in this region, the velocity is constantly increasing. Got it? Now, from B to C, it is constant speed. And if it is in a constant speed, no force is acting. Right? From C to D, again, the velocity is decreasing. Right? And from D to C, it again remains constant. So in this particular graph, we can say that the force is being applied from A to B, and therefore because of this force, the velocity or the kinetic energy of the particle is increasing. And because the kinetic energy is increasing by applying force, therefore the force will be positive. From C to D, it is decreasing velocity. So this will be a negative force because this force is acting opposite to the direction of motion of the body. That is the particle. So the positive force will increase the speed, not decrease it. And where exactly is the velocity or speed getting increased? From A to B. So the correct option is from A to B. From B to C, no force is applied because it is constant speed. C to D is negative work done by the force, and D to E again constant speed. Got it? So these are a few questions that have already been asked during the past few years in the examination, and that is why we should be through and thorough with all these questions and their answers. Now these are 25 questions that we have done, and I'm sure that by the time I was discussing these questions, the options were there in front of you, and those people who have honestly, not the guesswork, you know better how you have given the answers, you know better. All the students who are watching actually this class, you know better how many answers you actually knew, how many you made the guesses, and fortunately just coincidentally and by luck they were right, but you made it a guess, you were never sure. And you also know that there are a few questions which you never knew how to answer. So this is your honesty. You need to give reply to yourself so that you should be able to relate your own preparation level. If anybody among you has all 25 answers correct, wonderful, very good. I appreciate your knowledge, your learning, your conceptual, basic concept relation, everything, and the application of your concepts perfectly fine. But as the errors increase, 1, 2, 3 errors. Okay, acceptable, not an issue, still very good. 4, 5, 6 errors. Now it is okay, okay kinds performance. You have learned, but you are lacking somewhere. And if it is more than 8, 10 errors out of these 25 questions, that simply means you need to do this chapter properly again. And you must do it for your own benefit. Getting my point? So this is all about work and energy. Try to relate whatever is being told, whatever is being discussed in these questions, what all concepts were applied, what were the types of questions coming, what is the language of the question. You need to be well acquainted and familiar with each and everything. Fine? And if you are lacking somewhere, again, take out your books, study hard, practice properly, learn thoroughly, and revise it. Clear? So I hope you understood each and everything. And if you still have got a few doubts, you can clear it up through your books. Everything is mentioned there. Just kindly focus and go through the topics again. Okay? So we'll meet you in the next session with a new topic. Till then, take care of yourself. Have a great time. And thank you so much for being with me and taking up this particular session in such a beautiful way. Thank you again. Have a good time. Bye everyone.